Alright, what's up, guys? The map for Unit 8, well, the first map, because actually for the Unit 8 exam, the first map we're going to do is the continent of Africa. So scroll down here, basically the last page of your study guide. But also later on next week or the week after that, I haven't decided yet, we're going to do our maps of Australia and New Zealand as well. So actually in this unit we have three different maps. We have Africa, we have Australia, and we have New Zealand. All right, but today we have to do Africa. All right, so let's open this up on Notability. Then you see the different countries we're going to label right there on the side. There's kind of a lot of them, but Africa is a pretty darn big continent. Okay, so let's get started. First one we got is Morocco. So let's zoom in right in here. Okay, again, you make it as colorful as you want. All right, I'm just gonna do the plain old black and white. That way I don't take too much up of your time and you can go on to doing whatever the hell you guys do these days. Okay, so mine will be plain, but feel free to make it colorful. Those of you who have been doing that, it's really nice to look at colorful maps. It's really cool. Some of you guys are very talented at that. All right, but there you go. There's the first one. Morocco. Okay, then we got Algeria right here, right next to it. Right. Most of Algeria is the Sahara Desert. Algeria. It kind of looks like Izzy's last name. Isn't that funny? Very similar to Allegria. Anyways. Then we got Libya right next to it, kind of. Libya. Bam. Alright, so we got Morocco, Algeria, Libya, and actually those countries in North Africa, they're known as the Maghreb countries. The Maghreb is the part of North Africa that these three countries are in. Then we got Egypt, which is also in North Africa, but it's not considered part of the Maghreb. Egypt, that's where Rwanda is from. The Sahara Desert. All right, so for this, I'm just gonna draw like outline in brown where the Sahara Desert is. It takes almost all of this up actually. Right through here, the Sudan. There we go. All right, so that little shaded area right there, that's the Sahara Desert. So you can label that any way you want. I'm just gonna draw a line here that says Sahara. Okay, bam. Then we have the Sudan. Right in here. Sudan, right there. And technically nowadays, this right here, right, is South Sudan. Right, because they had a civil war. They wanted independence from the larger country of Sudan, and it was bad. It was bloody civil war. Hundreds of thousands of people died in horrible and unusual ways. So they got their country. Then we have the Congo. I like to refer to this one as the smaller Congo. Right, the smaller Congo. Because right here is the Congo. Right. This big guy right here, right, this guy right here, that's the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right? DR Congo. Right, so the small guy on the side, that's just known as the Congo, and then its bigger, larger big brother, that's the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right? Let's label both of them on the map, right, for our Congo. Then we go here for Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Their capital is really cool. Their capital is called Addis Ababa. It's a really cool capital. I've always enjoyed saying that. Addis Ababa. Got Ethiopia. Then we have Somalia, right? Located on the Horn of Africa. You can see, right, that thing that pops up right there, right? Kind of looks like a horn. The Horn of Africa, Somalia. This is where you have those pirates, the Somalese pirates that really just wreak hell on anyone who goes through this waterway right here from the Red Sea into the Gulf of Persia. That's where that film Captain Phillips was based in, right? This part of the world right here off the Horn of Africa. Then we have Kenya right here. Kenya. Uganda. Africa is a big continent, but it tends to have some smaller countries that are just really small and they're hidden in there. So you gotta be really good at finding them, right? And Uganda is one of those first ones, right in there. Uganda, right there between the DR and Kenya, Uganda. Then we have Rwanda, right, which is even smaller, right? Rwanda. And I'm going to draw an arrow actually that points right here for Rwanda. There you go. That guy right there. Right to the south of Uganda. Okay. Then we have a slightly bigger country, right to the south of Kenya. You got Tanzania right in there. Famous for its vanilla. Tanzania is famous for its vanilla. So is the country of Madagascar, which we'll get to very soon. First, we got Mozambique. Also, kind of a cool name, Mozambique. They speak Portuguese there as well too. Besides local dialects and languages, they also speak Portuguese because the Portuguese colonizers who took over Mozambique. Madagascar, right in here. Right, the island of Madagascar. Yes, it's a real country, right? It's a real country. My mom was actually born here. I spelled it wrong. Hang on. My mom was actually born here to Australian parents, the island of Madagascar. That's where she was born. Again, like I said, famous for vanilla. And yeah, sometimes I've told at least 2 people in my life that my mom was born in Madagascar, and people thought that the country didn't exist. They thought that it was just a made-up country that they made for the movie Madagascar. I was like, well, no, it's an actual real country, you idiots. And it's beautiful too. It used to be a pirate hotbed. A lot of pirates lived there back in the 1800s. Then we have Zimbabwe, right in here. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a controversial country in Africa because just like South Africa, in most of the 20th century, the white minority population ruled Zimbabwe, and they ruled over the blacks who greatly outnumbered them, right? And that back then Zimbabwe was known as Rhodesia. Then the blacks started a civil war, they won their country back, and after their next leader, Robert Mugabe, ordered all of the whites to either give up their land or leave the country. And those white farmers who didn't give up their land, they were literally torn away from their farms, forced to leave, sometimes persecuted, killed, arrested. And because of that, Zimbabwe is controversial, right? Especially because since that happened, Zimbabwe has become one of the one of Africa's poorest countries since they kicked out its white population. Right, so that there's a controversial element there that some Africans are saying, well, are you saying that Zimbabwe was only rich because the white people were there? No, no one's saying that. But you have to face the facts. Like, ever since the white population left Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe has become one of Africa's poorest countries. So there doesn't have to be causation, but there's definitely a correlation there, you know? Anyways, I'll stop the history lesson. Then we have Botswana right next to it. Same thing. Botswana and Zimbabwe were part of the same country of Rhodesia, right? But eventually they became independent. Then we have South Africa down here. Probably the wealthiest African country today, South Africa. And same thing, just like Zimbabwe, probably more well known, right? Most people know about the apartheid in South Africa, but they don't really know the apartheid in Zimbabwe and Botswana. Right? South Africa got a lot more of the attention because they're a bigger country, they have more people, right? So they got the attention. Then we have Cameroon, right up here. I've been to Cameroon with my dad. He took me there along with different countries in this area. Went there on a chef's conference because my dad's a pastry chef. We went to Cameroon, we went to Cote d'Ivoire, also known as the Ivory Coast. We went to Nigeria, to Niger. It was an awesome time. After Cameroon, we have Nigeria, right in here. Nigeria. Then we have Ghana. I'm going to draw an arrow here. Ghana. Let's see, what's next? The Ivory Coast. Right? That's the English term for that country. Right? The official name of the country is Côte d'Ivoire, which is a French name, because that's the main language there. I'll write it there as well in French. Côte d'Ivoire. Ivory Coast. Right? Basically, like for a long time, their most famous export, right, was ivory, right, to make things. Ivory. Then we have Liberia, another smallish country, right? This guy right here. Liberia. There we go. Then we have Lesotho, and we have the last one, Swaziland. So let's go down here to South Africa, actually. Okay. Alright. Okay. So this guy right here, that's Lesotho. Lesotho. Okay, right in there, right in the middle of South Africa. They're surrounded by South Africa. They have some really, really cool and awesome safari parks there. So does Swaziland, which is this guy right here. Swaziland has the Kruger National Wildlife Park. It's an awesome park. It's featured in a lot of movies when they show like safari, families going on safari trips. Swaziland is famous for that. It's really cool. Try to go there one day. Okay, right? That's the countries in Africa that we're going to focus on. Obviously, you can see, right, there's a lot more that we didn't cover, right? But this is what we need to focus on for our exam, right? These countries right in here. All right, so once you're done with that, once you have all of those countries filled out completely, again, make it as colorful as you want, right? Make sure you go ahead and turn that in for points, okay? And now you have the study guide for Unit 8, right? Study guide for Unit 8. Remember, we're not going to have a formal final exam, right? So this, when we do take either a test or a quiz on Unit 8, I haven't decided yet on these chapters, as you can see here. It's not going to show up again for your final exam, right? A lot of you probably won't have to do the end of the year course project, right? Make that fake social media person for your historical character, right? But if you do choose to do it, that's going to count as a final exam, right? Not like a semester long cumulative test like we usually do. Okay, but anyways, there's a study guide. All right, make sure you go ahead and turn that in. Right, then go about the rest of your day. Go out, try to go outside, have a walk. Right, text your friends. Just make sure you stay in contact with people. Right, it's easy to make yourself feel isolated and alone. Right, so text people, go for walks outside, do fun things. All right, Mr. Bodney out.